I'm pitiful. I'm pitiful. I'm addicted. I'm powerless.
This is Porn Talk Live. Here is your host, Eric Zuzack.
Hey everyone, welcome to Porn Talk Live. Wink, wink, you'll figure it out. Whether you're joining me live on social media or listening later on the podcast, I want to thank you for being here. This is a safe place for men who are ready to reclaim their power and break free from the secret struggle that no one wants to talk about. I am Eric Zuzack. I am a sacred energy and urge control coach. And I help men quit the habit, that secret habit that's rusting in your browser history and silently draining their energy, confidence, and purpose, and help them to channel it into their goals and dreams. Today's episode is called Escaping the Secret Struggle. Let's get into it. Before we dive in, make sure to follow me and click the link in my bio or show notes to get a free copy of my book that helps with this topic, that helps you overcome this addiction. So let's be real. Most guys don't even talk about this habit. You know, the one I call it corn here because many platforms don't like when we say the real word, but you know what I mean. Corn is everywhere. It's accessible, private, and it gives that instant dopamine hit. But what most guys don't realize is how much it's costing them. Not just in time, but energy, clarity, motivation, even their relationships. And thank you all that have joined me live here. So the struggle is real, but it's hidden. And you might be a great dad, a great employee, maybe even a spiritual man, but still feel like a fraud. Fraud. That's the secret struggle. You know what I'm talking about? That fraud, feeling a phony. Like people would say, oh, he's such a nice person. And then you think, well, boy, you wouldn't say that if you saw what I viewed last night. But I know it because I lived it. And I talk to men every day who are in the same place. Some of them have been stuck for decades like I was. But the moment they name the struggle, that's when the healing starts. If you're here live, let me know in the chat. Have you ever felt that struggle? And you can just drop that. You know, if you're not here listening on the podcast, you can drop me a line at eric@powerfuleric.com, or you can do that now too if you like. But anyway, hey, if you're just joining me, follow me and grab my free book using the link in the bio or the show notes. But I want to share something very personal with you. There was a time when I couldn't go a day without this habit, or even a couple hours. I had the best intentions. I was married. I had a good life, loved my family, but I just kept slipping, and I kept it a secret. And that secret wore me down spiritually, emotionally, physically. Yes, physically. There was a night where I hit bottom. I looked in the mirror and thought, is this who I really am? Is this what I've become? And that was a turning point. I didn't get perfect overnight, but I got honest. And that honesty started to unlock everything. The shame began to lift. And that's when the healing really started. If you're listening to this and you've had that moment, maybe this is your mere moment. And if it is, let this be the day you start climbing out. What keeps you stuck? So why do we stay stuck? There's three big reasons. The biggest one of all, shame. I could talk about this for several podcasts. Shame. Alcohol and drugs doesn't, I mean, yeah, people aren't happy about that, but this particular addiction that lives in your browser history has a tremendous amount of shame with it. Have you experienced that? Shame, the habit thrives in secrecy. The more we hide it, the more power it has. Next one is stress. Most guys don't have an emotional outlet. They turn to the habit because it's easy and it gives them that release. But it's a short-term fix for a long-term wound. The next thing is false beliefs. Believing things like, I'll never beat this, or I'm just wired this way. That's not true. Have you heard of neuroplasticity? Can't say the word. Neuroplasticity is real. Your brain can change. Your spirit can grow, but it starts with a belief. If you're stuck, it's not because you're broken. It's because you haven't learned how to channel that passionate energy yet. How to escape. Let me give you some practical tips for escaping the secret struggle that lives in your browser history. Awareness. Just start tracking your triggers. Know your patterns. You may feel like, well, I just do it when I want to. Well, it may seem that way, but your subconscious mind is saying, hey, why don't you act out right now? I'm feeling really stressed out. Let's just get online and knock one out real quick. It may seem like it's just this quote unquote fun thing that feels good that you want to do. But if you're to the point where it's an addiction, it's much deeper than you might seem. So you have to track what triggers you. And it could be anything really. Stress being a big one. So track your triggers. What sets you off? Next is accountability. Get around others who are on this journey. You don't need to do this alone. Don't do this alone. You really can't do this alone. If you get to the point of being addicted to this, then doing it on your own is virtually impossible. I haven't met anyone that was addicted that were able to overcome it on their own. Are there people? Sure. I'm sure there's some enigmas out there, but for the most part, you need somebody. You need to find a therapist, maybe a spiritual leader, maybe it's a parent, maybe it's a school counselor, maybe it's a coach like myself, but find someone, find a coach, a group, a mentor, someone who understands. I went the traditional route, and none of these people, traditional route meaning getting a therapist, going to 12-step meetings, and taking some type of antidepressant. I did all those things, and I actually got worse, believe it or not. But I couldn't find somebody that was actually struggling with what I was doing. I did in the 12-step meetings, but as far as therapists, no. But anyway, I digress. The next one is action. Replace the habit. Channel that passionate energy. Work out. And I say this to my clients when we start working together. I said, if you're not willing to work out your physical body, meaning like go for a jog, go lift weights, do yoga, at least go for a walk, do something. Like if you're not willing to do that, then we don't need to bother doing our sessions, because that is the number one way you can channel that energy. So if you're not willing to work out, then I don't know what to tell you. You have to move your body in a healthy way. So work out or do something, build a business, serve someone, help someone. That energy is sacred. Use it. I call myself now, well, for social media, I do. I normally call myself a X and porn addiction recovery coach, but in here I say I am a urge control and sacred energy coach, because that energy is sacred. Like it's not supposed to be just shot all over the place. But don't wait for perfection. Just commit to progress. One day, one urge, one decision at a time. And if you're serious about making that shift, follow me. Click the link in the bio or in the show notes to get your free copy of my book. It's a guide that really helps you take you to the next step. And also, you can reach out to me. You can send me an email at eric@powerfuleric.com. If this hit home for you today, I want to invite you to take the next step. You don't have to do this alone. Reach out, find support, and start building a new path. And if you're looking for deeper support, check out the resources linked in the show notes or bio, or depending on where you're at or where you're turning in from, or just go to my website, powerfuleric.com. I've got a lot of stuff, free stuff under resources. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, don't forget to leave a review and share it with someone who needs to hear this, because trust me, there are millions of men and women that are struggling with this. I know. I have men literally reach out to me from around the globe, from countries that I have never heard of. So follow me if this message resonates with you. And don't forget, you can get your free copy of my book by clicking the link in the bio or show notes. So I beat that horse to death. So I want to open this up to people that have questions. I stopped feeling bad about watching porn when I was 15. Get over it, dude. I wish I could. I carried a tremendous amount of guilt and shame about it. Like, there are some guys that can drink alcohol and be totally fine. And there's other guys that drink some alcohol and they're like, they can't stop. And that was me. Like, I could not stop. Once I started, I would edge. You know what edging is? Edging, you get yourself dressed right to the brink of, here on live on social media, I have to choose my words carefully, otherwise they block me. So, but anyway, I would edge. So that's awesome that you can stop feeling bad about it, because that just feeds it. Talking to the biz here. So thank you for your comment. And I'm glad you were able to get over it. But for a lot of us, it's not that easy. If it were that easy, then we could just stop. But here's what happens. Here's the addiction cycle in a very simplified form. We have trigger, thought, action. Trigger, thought, action. So you're on social media. You see some beautiful woman. That's your trigger. Your thought is, oh, wow, she is beautiful. I'm just going to go open a new tab here and take care of things. And your action is taking care of things. And so that uncomfortableness that you felt, you took care of briefly, but then you have that uncomfortableness come again because of what you just did. You feel guilt and shame about it. Fortunately for my friend here, the biz does not feel that and does not get stuck in that cycle. But that's the cycle: trigger, thought, action. But here's the quote unquote secret: between the trigger, thought, action, there between those three things, there's some space. And if you can get yourself, like when you're online and you see that jiggly video, you have an opportunity where you can change your mind. You can say, you know what? Stop, cancel. I release this thought, and you take a different action. And I teach guys to wear a rubber band so they will, and this is psychology 101 here. So you're triggered by something like, whoa, wasn't expecting to see that. I'm triggered by that. You snap yourself back to reality, say stop, cancel, and do something else. So you remember here, you are not alone. You are not broken. See, that's why I do what I do for a living as a sacred energy and urge control coach. I went to all these different programs and they had you say that you are powerless. You are powerless over whatever the addiction was. That did not work for me. And it was not working for most of the guys in these programs. So I went off on my own, found tools that actually work. And I started calling myself powerful. Instead of pitiful, powerless.
I'm pitiful. I'm pitiful. I'm addicted. I'm powerless.
So instead of that, just on one day, I was creating a login for an addiction recovery program. And I thought, I'm going to put my login as Powerful Eric. And you are powerful too. And the best days are ahead of you.
Thanks for listening. If you're struggling with porn or sex addiction, reach out to Eric at powerfuleric.com.